Welcome to my kitchen. This is Cooking Under the Collar. I'm your host, Under the Collar. Well, a lot of you have been requesting, after seeing so many treats and sweets, things that are absolutely delicious, you wanted to see something healthy. And so tonight, I am going to try to give you something healthy that I'm making for dinner. In fact, I'm going to do a little 2-for-1 tonight on Cooking Under the Collar, and I am going to show you how to do roasted Brussels sprouts and sweet potatoes. Let's look at the ingredients. I know the first thing you're going to say, why is there bacon if this is healthy? I'm going to tell you though, you don't have to use the bacon. We're going to do roasted Brussels sprouts here with some olive oil, balsamic vinegar, salt and pepper. That's it. And bacon, if you want. The bacon makes it delicious. You should add bacon. And then we're just going to do a sweet potato with nothing more than some cinnamon. This is a great cinnamon I got in Blowing Rock. It's a Vietnamese cinnamon. You can use any cinnamon you want. Super easy. Both are going to take about 45 minutes in the oven. I'm going to make a little pork chop for myself, but we'll look at that some other day. And let's get going. Let's get this undo on faux hundo and peel our sweet potato. We're going to peel this sweet potato. You don't have to peel it, but I like it peeled, and then we're going to cube it, and we're going to put some olive oil and cinnamon on it. Okay, this bad boy is peeled. He was 79 cents at Trader Joe's, which is great, and we're just going to dice it. You want to make your cubes evenly sized, so be careful when you do this. They're a little harder than you expect, but there's one flank, 2 flanks, and that's not going to be quite even, but that's okay. And throw them in a bowl. So these go into the bowl. They're not the most even pieces, which they really should be, but it is what it is. It's just dinner, don't worry. All you've got to do is just take a little drizzle of olive oil. I don't know, that might be a tablespoon or 2. You don't have to use a whole lot. And then a little bit of cinnamon just in with that. I was reading recently that spices like cinnamon like to bloom in fat. So actually using the oil and kind of mixing them together first is great instead of mixing cinnamon with water. So a little cinnamon. I'm actually going to put a touch of salt in just to give it a little more emphasis. You're all set. Take out your baking dish and go ahead and spread them into an even thin layer. This is just one sweet potato. You might be doing more if you've got a family, and you're going to want to go ahead and hold on to this until we're done the Brussels sprouts. So we've got these Brussels sprouts ready to go. There are a couple of different ways you could do them. You want to take the end off. I've seen 2 ways. One is where you can go and kind of do a cross down the middle, and that will allow them to cook fully on the inside. That's actually not how I'm going to do mine today. I'm actually going to just cut them in half and throw them in the bowl. I'm using the same bowl as I used for the sweet potatoes. No big deal. Just cut them right in half, right in half. Go ahead and do that with all your Brussels. I gave them a quick wash first, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, now for me, I'm going to go and just take this raw bacon, and I'm literally just going to give it a good slicing, good chop. So the bacon sliced, literally going to just throw it in with them, and then we're going to go ahead and get to marinating. All right, we've got a fairly decent balsamic vinegar here. Smells good, nice and sweet. I like to put some balsamic vinegar on first, kind of toss that around a little bit just to give it a little bit of that vinegar. And some of these, for whatever reason, are a little bad on them in the middle, so I've been taking them out bit by bit. Then you're going to go and add some olive oil. And again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. You want it evenly coated so that it doesn't stick and burn on the pan. Again, this oven is going to be 400. It's a little on the warm side. You could bump it up to 425 if you're just doing the Brussels. And then you're gonna add your salt. Again, I would do, about a teaspoon or so, and some fresh ground pepper. Perfect. Good. Grab your, it's kind of my old roasting pan that I like to use for such things, and you're just gonna go ahead and spread it all out. That bacon's gonna cook up nicely on here, and throw it in the oven. We're all preheated, the oven is ready to go. We're gonna throw in the Brussels and the sweet potatoes. They're both gonna take about 40 to 45 minutes, but I'm gonna put the timer on 15 minutes and turn them at 15. See you in a minute. So while those are cooking, I thought I would share that I've been watching a little bit of TV, a new show called Devs on Hulu. FX and Hulu have this joint partnership. It's about quantum computing, and it's kind of a little bit out there, fairly philosophical. But basically, it runs off of the premise of philosophically that we are existing in a material determinism. Material determinism is where we are determined, or that our lives are dictated by the material that we exist in, our bodies, our brains, our minds, our interactions. Material causality. It is the biochemical reaction that kind of pushes the dominoes, and the dominoes just keep falling in a necessary order. Well, obviously this show is kind of pushing us to the philosophic, pushing the philosophic envelope, I guess. And it's an interesting show. I love philosophy, so it was interesting and not Christian. It is interesting how they kind of brought in the idea of God based upon the computer that they use to actually do the calculations to figure out what the determined causality would be. But from a Christian perspective, we believe fundamentally in a God of love. And love, by necessity, is all about freedom. It's not something that can be coerced. Love is not just a passing feeling. It is a committed existence, a committed way of being. And love, therefore, is free. God is love. God is free, and we are free in God. The idea of material causality, this determinism, might be exciting and interesting as we get more and more computing power. But I don't think that we're ever going to be able to answer the big questions of existence. Remember, science and religion ask two different questions. Science asks questions about how, and I think computers are very helpful. Algorithms, programs, software, helpful at helping us to answer those questions of how things work, how things are. But they don't answer the question of why. And that's where religion comes in. Why do we exist? Why is there suffering? Why do we experience life the way that we do? These existential questions. And religion does help us answer those. At least it helps us by giving us a person, Jesus, who we can kind of rely upon, who we can become close to, and ultimately who gives us that sense of meaning in this world. We've got a couple more minutes left, so let's check them out. All right, we've got some action here. 15 minutes in, watch the steam on your way out, and we're just going to give them a quick turn. They're looking good, looking very good. And give them, turn the pan, send it back in. And then the Brussels, I'm going to actually pull these all the way out. Already getting some color on the underside, that's good. That's what we want. That bacon fat is going to help kind of coat them. Again, you don't have to use bacon. I'm just, I had it. I thought, why not? Why not? You gotta live a little. Perfect. Back in they go, 15 minutes. All right. We've got like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm just gonna pull them out and take a quick look here. And I'm making a pork chop. I don't think I'm gonna do the recipe quite yet. We're kind of the first go of this. It's got a cherry, rosemary cherry type of compote on top, but it's in development. So we're developing here. This is looking good. Great. Spread them out, back in, and these are looking great. A little crispy, you know. I might actually switch the top and the bottom so that these don't burn. You don't want them to burn. The bacon is getting very crispy. See that, right? There it is. I'm going to actually put these on the bottom. Crisp up. I'm actually going to reduce my time now. I said 45 minutes. I'm going to check these in 10. We'll see you in a minute. All right. It's been, got another minute on that one, but I'm pretty sure these are done. They look done. They've got some great color to them. And so I'm going to go ahead and plate some of these up. Here are the sweet potatoes. They look good. You can feel that they're tender. Well, our Brussels sprouts and our sweet potatoes are ready. They look great. They smell great. The Brussels sprouts, again, you might be worried that they're burnt. They're not. They're very nice and caramelized, which is, great. You don't want any Brussels sprouts that are just kind of slimy. Slimy Brussels sprouts are the worst. And the sweet potatoes, very nicely done. They're probably tender on the inside, crispy on the outside. You might want to add a little salt, but that cinnamon flavor. This pork chop is a thick cut pork chop with a cherry reduction with a little rosemary and balsamic. I don't know if that's ready for prime time or not yet, but we'll see. Let's say grace and we'll dig in. We thank you, Lord, for this day, for this food. We ask that you bless all of us and our families and our friends and those who we bring to mind this night. In your name we pray. Amen. Sweet potatoes first. Simple. Olive oil, cinnamon, sweet potatoes. They're soft with a little bit of a crust. Healthy. They've got some good flavor to them. You can take that cinnamon. A little bit of salt would be nice on them. You could leave them in a little longer if you wanted more crunchiness. These Brussels, though, I can already, as I kind of stab them, you can hear the crunchiness of these Brussels. Again, a little salt and pepper. You could even, if you wanted to, I might do this, put a little balsamic glaze on the top. Very nice, great taste. I know you're probably dying to see what this pork chop looks like. Looks perfectly done. Nice crust on the outside. Good cherry, balsamic, kind of rosemary taste. You gotta like those flavors. So I'm thankful that you joined us today on Cooking Under the Collar, and we'll see you Sunday on live stream.